Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Tonight, a staffer on the Trump 2016 presidential campaign has come forward to become the 16th woman to accuse Donald Trump of unwanted sexual contact. Alva Johnson was a Trump campaign staffer in Florida. That's her on the day of the alleged incident. She claims in a new lawsuit that then-candidate Trump, quote, forcibly kissed her as he exited an RV in August 2016. Johnson says she turned away from Trump as he tried to kiss her on the lips and that he ultimately kissed her on the side of her mouth. This is the first sexual misconduct accusation against the president since he became the president. It's the first alleging misconduct while he was a candidate. It is also the first accusation to be made by a woman who worked on Trump's campaign. Johnson, who in addition to suing Trump is also suing the Trump campaign, alleging she was underpaid because of her race and gender, says the incident took place about 6 weeks before the release of the Access Hollywood tape, in which Trump, in the year 2005, can be heard boasting that he can do the very thing he's been accused of doing.
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
Johnson did not speak out at the time that tape became public, but told the Washington Post she was stunned when the tape came out. Quote, "I felt sick to my stomach. That was what he did to me." Two women who say they were present for the alleged kiss, Melania Trump Chief of Staff Stephanie Grisham and former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, told NBC News that they did not see it take place. Bondi flat out called the allegation false. In addition, the director of Trump's Florida campaign, Karen Giorno, told the Post the allegation was ridiculous, saying that absolutely did not happen. In a statement, Sarah Sanders also rejected the allegation, quote, "This accusation is absurd on its face. This never happened and is directly contradicted by multiple highly credible eyewitness accounts." Johnson's boyfriend, mother, and stepfather confirmed to the Post that Johnson told them about the alleged kiss on the day it took place. And a Florida attorney told the Post that Johnson had approached him about the alleged incident just 2 months later. Joining me now is Hassan Zavari. He's the attorney for Alva Johnson. Good to have you here.
Good evening, Chris.
Why file this lawsuit now?
Well, so Ms. Johnson actually tried to come forward and was prepared to come forward shortly after the Access Hollywood tape came out. It was at that moment that she was able to contextualize what happened to her. I think at first she was very confused. She knew it was inappropriate, but she didn't really know what it meant until Mr. Trump told her exactly what it meant. He told her and he told the rest of the country that this was a pattern. This was his modus operandi. This was part of his way of sexually assaulting women. And so once she saw that, she left the campaign. She never came back. She hired an attorney. She moved out of campaign housing, and she began the steps to bring a lawsuit.
This is 2 months after the incident when the tape comes out. You're saying that is the precipitating incident for her to break with the campaign.
That's right, the Access Hollywood tape.
I will say that she had very fond things to say. I'm not saying that this means that she's not telling the truth here, but I do want to put on the record that she did say fond things about the president back in a May 2017 radio interview. Take a listen to what she had to say.
He is more incredible in person than I think than you would even think as you see him on TV. He's just the nicest guy. He really loves his country. He loves his family. He treats everyone as if they're a part of his family.
Does that reflect the way she feels about the president?
Absolutely not, Chris. Keep in mind, so after she found the attorney or thought she had found an attorney, he declined to move forward with the case for business reasons, even though he believed in the merits of her claim. And at that point, shortly afterwards, candidate Trump became President Trump. And at that point, she was terrified and she was very scared of coming forward. And she decided not to come forward. And as a victim, as many victims are terrified, she was as well. And she decided to go along to get along, to shut up, to not talk about it, and to move forward with her life, which at that point included her life as a campaign advocate.
The allegations are that this was done in public, essentially her boss, the boss of the campaign, just to forcibly kiss her in the midst of what is a day of public campaigning.
Yeah, look, again, that's his M.O. He did it to Kathy Heller at Mar-a-Lago in 1997. He did it to a Ms. USA candidate on camera. So, yes, that's exactly what he did, and it's consistent with his behavior in the past.
Did she sign an NDA as the condition of her employment in that campaign?
She signed an NDA purportedly as a condition of her employment, and we intend to fight that NDA. We believe it's unconscionable and unenforceable.
Why?
Well, it's so overbroad. includes not just the president, his entire family, his grandchildren.
Really?
Yes, it stifles all kinds of speech. I mean, it's so broad. I'll provide a copy for you if you'd like to see it. And you can see how he's tried to abuse it. I mean, he's tried to shut down people who are working in the White House. He's tried to shut down people who have made other complaints about him. And in the line of work that I'm involved in, where I fight corporations every day that try to shut people down and shut people up, that's what we do. We fight these sorts of abusive agreements.
There's another aspect to the lawsuit aside from this allegation of unwanted sexual contact by the president, which has to do with the way that she was paid on the campaign. Tell me, what is that part of the lawsuit?
That's right. So there are two aspects to that. She was paid less than comparable men who were working on the campaign, and she was paid less than comparable white people who were working on the campaign. With respect to her gender claim, she's actually bringing that claim on behalf of all women who worked on the Trump campaign. And just as an example, there was a kid straight out of high school, white kid, straight out of high school, teenager, who was brought on the campaign as an intern, and after he graduated from high school was making more than she was.
So this is a federal race and sex discrimination lawsuit claim in federal court.
That's right.
What is her thinking about her role in that campaign now? What does she feel about being some small part of getting this man elected president? And what does she think about him now?
This has been the most difficult thing for her, feeling like she helped to legitimize this man and help him become the president of the United States after what happened in Charlottesville, when she saw him talking about there being fine people on both sides, after what happened at the Mexican border, where she saw him separating children from their parents, and then when she saw him mocking the Me Too movement. Those things, I think, have made a big impact on her, and she feels very responsible. And I think part of coming forward now is to try and redeem herself for what she feels guilty about, which is her role in having Donald Trump elected president.
All right, Hassan Zavari, who is the lawyer for Alva Johnson, who has filed suit in federal court over what she says is unwanted sexual contact by the president of the United States while she worked on his campaign. Thank you so much for making some time tonight.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.